TV, Nairobi.
Let's now take you to the courts, where High Court Judge Anthony Mrima has jolted the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, by quashing regulations requiring independent presidential aspirants to submit at least 48,000 copies of national identity cards or passports of registered voters endorsing their State House bid. In a ruling that now hands a lifeline to presidential aspirants who were kicked out of the presidential lineup by IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati for failing to meet the identity cards threshold, Mrima faulted the commission for treating independent aspirants differently from those sponsored by political parties. And as Francis Gashuri now reports, IEBC is staring at a possibly longer presidential ballot paper unless Mrima's orders are vacated by the appellate court.
34 days to the ballot, the electoral body IEBC has been forced back to the drawing board after High Court Judge Anthony Mrima quashed at least 4 sections of the Elections General Regulations 2012 as amended in 2017. Key among the regulations declared unconstitutional by Judge Mrima are sections requiring independent presidential aspirants and other persons eyeing various elective seats as independent candidates to supply copies of national identity cards of registered voters backing their bids for clearance by IEBC. This requirement, according to Mrima, was discriminatory and differential treatment in violation of Article 37 of the Constitution. In the consolidated petition filed by 18 applicants, among them presidential aspirants Dr. Ekuru Aukot, Ruben Kigame, James Kamau, Jeremiah Nyaga and Jeru Kathangu, who were kicked out of the State House race, Mrima ruled that IEBC had access to personal data of all registered voters, including copies and numbers of their national identity cards or passports, and should not have compelled the presidential aspirants to supply the same information to ascertain support for their bids. According to the High Court judge, IEBC was in breach of the Data Protection Act, and aspirants had no legal basis to collect personal details of registered voters. The commission also faulted for failing to explain how it would use the supplied copies of national identification documents of voters, how long it would keep such documents, and eventually how such information would be disposed without exposing the voters' data to abuse. Independent presidential aspirants were required to submit at least 48,000 signatures and copies of national identity cards of registered voters as proof of support of their State House bids from at least 24 counties. Those eyeing parliamentary, county assembly and gubernatorial seats were also required to submit copies of identity cards of voters endorsing their ambitions for clearance by IEBC. Aukot demanding resignation of Chebukati, who he accuses of failing to interpret the law correctly. He also wants the nomination of Raila Odinga, William Ruto, George Wajakoya and David Wahiga Mwaure to contest in the August presidential race quashed. The Third Way Alliance leader is also demanding the shelving of presidential ballot papers printing and a fresh presidential nomination exercise to accord all aspirants a level playing field. Sources at IEBC told Citizen TV that Judge Mrima's orders will be contested at the Court of Appeal as soon as he releases certified copies of his ruling. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.